The bravest thing we ever do is dive into the depths of our own darkness, where pain meets purpose like roots meet earth, where every scar tells a story of survival. In the quiet moments between fear and faith, we find the courage to look deeper still. And in this sacred breaking, in this gentle unfurling, we finally understand who we were meant to be. Welcome to Rebel Poets Rising. Dearest Rebel, there's a courage to allowing yourself to be cracked open for all of the stories that made you to rise to the surface and remind you of what you learned and perspective you gained that now drives your purpose. Though it's often easier to just shove those stories down, you hide from the pain, afraid of what you might find if you were to bravely wade through it. Yet, by choosing to resist the painful process, you let go of the wisdom that exists, unable to see how one moment to the next has been knit together in a way that creates unbreakable strength. For thousands of years, the Vikings had an incredible technique called nail binding. Before knitting and crochet even existed, they mastered the art of creating insanely durable fabrics by passing each new stitch through previous stitches multiple times. The result? A dense, almost indestructible material that could even be water resistant. Even more mind-blowing, the fabric was so tightly stitched and durable that even if it was cut, it wouldn't unravel. Some complete pieces of Viking fabric, over 800 years old, can still be found in museums today holding fast. See, here's the cool part. This same process is what can happen if you allow your previous experiences and stories to intertwine and overlap. Like the Vikings and their battle-worthy fabrics, you're passing your experiences through each other, over and over, each examination making yours stronger, and each new perspective adding a freshly woven layer of resilience. You weren't meant to simply get over it and move on. Even the Vikings knew that rushing the process would diminish the durability of the final product. This is about patient transformation. Every stitch is an important one. See, think about it. Those moments when you feel as though you might fall apart, they're now a strong foundation, and your processed pain becomes something durable and not easily pulled apart, despite continued rough weather. Through the courage of being cracked open, your pain doesn't just heal, it transforms. It's the alchemy of anguish, turning what broke you into something both stronger and more flexible than before. Here's to being cracked open, to breaking and becoming, to weaving something unbreakable out of your story. And I would love for you to consider this today. When you look back at your breaks now, what unexpected strengths do you find? You know, they say time heals all wounds, but I say you do something braver. Let your wounds teach you. Take your breaks and your scarf and weave them. Take your breaks and your scars and weave them into battle-worthy wisdom. Because here's the truth. Every time you choose to crack open instead of close up, every time you examine another stitch of your story, you're not just surviving, you're becoming as battle-worthy and unbreakable as the stitches of Viking nail binding. So go ahead, brave soul. Feel deeply. Break beautifully. Weave boldly. Your scars are your storylines, and that courage to crack open, It's not just your strength, but your masterpiece in the making. I'm your host, Kate Harris, and this is Rebel Poets Rising, a podcast for those who dare to rewrite the rules. Join me every week as we fan the spark of rebellion into a roaring fire, unite with fellow rule breakers and wake makers, and discover the power of our authentic voices together. Somewhere out there, someone needs to hear exactly what you have to say, exactly the way only you can say it, because your voice is the revolution we've been waiting for.
The Rebel Poets Rising podcast is a production of Istoria. To learn more about Istoria and the Istoria studio, visit Istoria.com. For more Rebel Poet resources, visit rebelpoetsrising.com.